I'm going to get started. I want to welcome everyone here tonight. I want to welcome the parents, guardians, and friends to the Ram Middle School 6th to 7th grade parent orientation. I'm Michael Cerusi, the principal here at Ram Middle School. This presentation will provide you with an overview of the programming and opportunities your child will have here at the middle school. How many of you are first-time parents of middle schoolers? Wow. Okay, well, you're in for a treat. As a father and a stepfather of 9 children myself, I can tell you firsthand that the changes your child will go through the next couple of years, they're always hungry, moody, some are gaming addicted, some may even be shopping addicted. Watch out for the Amazon card. This is all normal and sometimes hormonal, and they will emerge eventually as young adults ready to challenge the world and to create a future for themselves. So what exactly is a middle school? It's not simply a 7th and 8th grade configuration, but rather a philosophy that emphasizes student support and achievement. We are a bridge between the small, intimate setting of the elementary school and the largeness of the high school. We help students ease their way into adulthood by helping them become accustomed to managing their own time. Managing their own time, participating in school activities, and doing homework for 5 core subjects and 2 unified arts classes. We teach the whole child. Always being mindful that the 12 to 14-year-old age range are emotional and are going through the largest growth spurt since infancy. As happened to me, I had one child who ever entered 7th grade at 5'5". He exited 8th grade 6'3". I'm happy to say that all my children now are over 6 foot because they all want to be taller than me. Middle schoolers are part child and part adult, often at the same time. They will insist on their independence while needing a tight structure. They are highly energetic and can be a real challenge for both parents and teachers alike. Unlike some of the old junior high models, middle schools reduce the largest of the high school by creating small learning communities or teams. Teams consist of about 70 students, which are like supportive families. Through the team structure, we attempt to teach your children organizational skills, study skills, note-taking and time management skills that will help them in their future educational careers. We also help them develop their social skills and learn how to adapt to the personalities of 8 teachers every day. Of course, we hold them to rigorous standards in all of their subjects, but you'll hear more on teaming a little bit later. I want to leave you with one last thought. Please remember that we cannot do this alone, and I stress that, we cannot do this alone. We are all partners in your child's academic and social growth and development. It must be stressed that we are all partners in helping your child achieve their full potential. And from experience, we know that success is based in part on good communication between students, you the parents, and your child's teachers. So please get involved, ask questions, come to parent meetings, volunteer, or simply email us or call us if you have any concerns. Success is also the result of high-quality teaching, which results in long-term learning. Our teachers at Ram Middle School are an awesome bunch. They make learning fun and interesting. They help kids discover rather than memorize, and they connect the meaning between subjects. They are truly preparing students to be lifelong learners and global citizens. And with that, I thank you all. Now I'm going to introduce Ms. Bell, who will lead the next part on transition activities. Thank you, folks, and enjoy the evening.
Good evening, everyone. I am Carrie Ann Bell, the assistant principal here at Ram Middle School. We welcome you all here tonight. We have a variety of transition activities. We know this is a big transition, not just for your child, but for you as well. Coming from the 3 towns and merging into one family, our Ram family here. So to help ease some of that, a little bit of stress, a little bit of excitement, we have a variety of activities. Tonight we have your orientation for the parents. So this is for you to kind of learn a little bit about the middle school, kind of what we have here, the teaming model, some of the different things we have for clubs and activities, and kind of how it works here. In a few weeks, I believe right after April break, your children are going to come here to the middle school to kind of have their own little presentation, do some tours of the school, get a chance to ask questions, and just get a familiar little bit of the lay of the land here. Throughout the summer, you'll get your child's schedule. They usually come out about the second week of August. So they'll come out to your homes, you'll get a schedule with your team placement and everything. Our school is open every day. You can come in as much as you and your child would like to kind of try out their locker, walk around the school, walk through their schedule. But we do have 2 specific days that we call walk-around days. On August 17th and 21st, these are days that we usually have students here to help do some tours. So we have students that can help walk with your child, they can ask them questions, help them with their locker. The locker is probably one of the most stressful things for the kids. It does take some time to get them used to kind of like a master lock. Usually we always have a guidance counselor available. Dr. Cerusi and I are here to help answer any questions you may have for the upcoming school year. But again, they are welcome to come in really anytime. The building is open generally like 8 to 3. They can come in as much as they want to get used to the school. Our first day of school is Thursday, August 31st. Usually those 2 days we have a bunch of activities where they meet their teachers. We have a team building day. And a lot of that is just for them to kind of become familiar with our school. Again, we walk them around again. We do team building activities so they can learn, some of the new kids, the new faces they have, see the friends that they've had from their elementary schools, meet the teachers, and just get used to the middle school lay of the land. Then we have a Get Acquainted dance. So we have a dance especially just for the 7th grade. It's usually one of the first few Fridays in September. It's a free dance. It's right after school. We get a great DJ. That person comes, does a lot of like games and line dances and things with them. Just a good social couple hours for them. Again, see the old friends. Maybe they met some new friends. Can kind of merge those together and just have a good time. And then finally, we have our open house. Probably just like you're used to elementary school, we have an open house here. Again, generally sometime in September on a Wednesday or Thursday evening, and you'll come in and kind of walk through your child's schedule. So you'll kind of see what their day is a little bit like, kind of like 10-minute classes, meet the teacher, what they're learning in that class, and kind of see how it works through the hallways and moving through the school. We hope, again, we know this is exciting. We know it can be scary a little bit. I know there's a lot of new parents here. It is a big transition, but we really try to do a lot to hopefully ease some of that and make it, a wonderful experience for you and your child. I am now going to turn to one of our school counselors, Alicia Gove.
Hi, I'm Alicia Gove. I'm one of the school counselors. We have 3 school counselors in the building, and school counselor is probably a new thing to a lot of you if you don't have older kids. We're basically the new guidance counselor, but we're way cooler and way better. I think we are. But anyway, so there's 3 counselors. So there's myself, and then there's Christy Chalky and Jasmine Morton. There's a counselor assigned to each team. So for example, this year I'm assigned to red team and inquiry 7. Christy Chalky has green team and inquiry 8, and then Jasmine Morton has gold team and purple team. So that's kind of how we divide it up. It's not alphabetical or anything like that. It's by team. And what's great about that is that as school counselors, we meet with the team at least twice a week. So we get to know your kids really well through their teachers and through just meeting with them. We talk about them on a regular basis just to make sure that they're well supported and they're getting what they need. So 3 school counselors. Some of the other things that we deal a lot with like social issues. So if your child is struggling with a friend or a peer and they want to come talk about it, we're there. Grades, sometimes we'll check in with kids on grades if we see their grades dipping a little bit or they're missing homework assignments frequently. A lot of mental health stuff we deal with as well. We wear a lot of hats, so if your child needs anything, we're there basically. So that's kind of what a school counselor is. So student expectations. Middle school is definitely a little bit different than elementary school. Obviously, the expectations are a little bit higher. we really try to help your child become more independent and learn to self-advocate for themselves. And that's a big step for middle schoolers, but we really work hard on that. And that means like communicating with their teachers, asking questions if they have them, things like that. Homework. Homework is a big thing. A lot of kids come into elementary school and they think, homework's not a big deal. They didn't get too much in elementary school. It is a big deal in middle school. It gets graded, it factors into their grade, and they don't always quite understand that concept of how missing, a few homework assignments can actually bring your grade down. So they are gonna have homework. They are gonna be expected to do it. If they're not doing it, they're gonna see my face. Yeah. So homework is definitely important. Organization, we really stress organization. Again, it's another tool that they're just gonna need to be successful going forward once they get into high school. They all get agenda books where they're expected to write down their homework assignments. Homework assignments are available online as well, but we expect them to work on those organization and time management skills to help them be successful down the future. If they are struggling, that's also something that we can help them with. And sometimes we do that individually with students by meeting with them weekly, bi-weekly, and then we also run some groups, some organization groups and other groups that I'll talk about after. Another thing that's important is that we really hope that your child is here as much as possible in the building. Obviously, they're going to perform much better academically if they're here in the building, getting that direct teacher instruction. So absences are tough. But anyway, if they are absent, if they should be absent, the expectation in middle school is that they communicate with their teachers. If they know they have an absence coming up, just to notify their team of teachers, let them know, hey, I'm going to be out. Is there anything I can do while I'm out? A lot of homework assignments are on Google Classroom now, so while they're absent, if it happens to be an absent, like they get up in the morning, they're sick, they can still email their teachers, but if they feel up to it. But while they're home, if they feel up to doing homework, they can always check their Google Classroom and see if there's any work within Google Classroom that they can complete before they return to school, if they're feeling well enough. Obviously, if they're not feeling well enough and they come back and they have to make up work, the teachers are really great with working with the kids when they come back. But our hope is that maybe they can get some done while they're home. And then Naviance. We have something called Naviance. It's a platform that we use that starts in grade 7 and it will follow them all the way through high school. So in middle school, what we use Naviance for is some classroom lessons. We help kids create goals at the beginning of the year, academic goals, personal goals. We do some career stuff. Naviance has a ton of useful career information in there. So when you hear the word Naviance or your child come home and is like, oh, guidance was in my class today, we did Naviance, it's usually some sort of a lesson attached to that. And again, that follows them all the way through high school. They do lessons at the high school level as well using Naviance, and then if your child ends up going on to the college application process, they'll use it for the college application process and scholarship searches and all of that. So once they have that account, it's theirs until they graduate. And then just a side note, like I kind of mentioned, we do run a lot of groups, whether it's like time management, anxiety, social skills groups, and things like that that are available to your students. So that's kind of what we are and what our expectations of. So I guess the most important thing is just make sure that you're communicating with us. We always love to hear from parents. If you have a concern, you let us know. It's super important because the more we know about your kid, the better we can help them. So just make sure we're sharing information back and forth. And I don't know, I guess Mrs. Schiffer is up next.
Good evening. I am Julie Schiffer. I am the Red Team leader. And tonight I'd like to talk about resources that you have and how important you are in the whole process of middle school. So one resource that you have is the team website, which you'll find under the RAM Middle School website. You'll find a lot of resources just on that website alone. You might want to just go through and play with it and see what's there for you. But there's a team website, a Unified Arts website. It includes general information, weekly assignments. This is located under the team tab and the RAM Middle School homepage. Also, as Ms. Gove mentioned, the Google Classroom. A lot of teachers do use it. I myself use it like just about everything that I am doing that day, including all the handouts, any Google Slides, anything that I give a student is going to be on my Google homepage. Teachers use it a little differently, some of them, but I would definitely look to that. Attendance. Attendance was mentioned before. If your child is going to be absent, there is a key on the RAM, under parents, under the RAM Middle School website, that is called attendance report form. With this, an absence can be reported. Another method is to call the middle school. We ask that this be done before 8:30 a.m. Parent portal, you'll be getting some information about that. It's a great resource. You can monitor your child's progress. It'll talk about the schedule. It'll have their grades. And if during the year you have any questions about it, please feel free to reach out to the teachers or the school counselors. Also, if you have any concerns at all, please feel free to reach out to any of the teachers. Our emails are located on the website as well. And just remember, we're all in this together, and we're all here to help your children succeed. Thank you. Next up is Kristen Lynch, and she'll discuss teams.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Lynch. I'm the Gold Team Science teacher and the team leader. I'd like to speak to you about what a team is here at the middle school and the advantages of having teams. A team is made up of a set group of teachers and students. In general, all the students on one team have the same teachers for their core classes. That would be English, math, social studies, science, and reading. All the students on a team have their lockers in a pod or a common location near their core classrooms. The students in each class are a mix of students from that same team. We found that there are many advantages to having teams in middle school. Teachers on the same team have one period each day where they're able to meet all together. During this time, we're able to discuss student issues and concerns and brainstorm ideas to solve any problems we may be experiencing in our classrooms. Sometimes something is working really well for a student in one classroom, and if we share that information with one another, we can transfer that strategy to other classrooms. Because we meet daily, we're able to discuss our lesson plans and integrate curriculum between the different subjects. We check in with one another about when we are planning tests and quizzes so we can avoid too many on any one school day. The team has a website that Ms. Schiffer mentioned where homework is posted for the entire week by the end of the day on Monday. Students can use this to keep track of their homework, and parents can also see this website. Some families actually find it helpful to print that out at the start of the week and post it somewhere in the kitchen or on the fridge in a common area so that students can check their work off as they finish it. Because we have a common meeting period each day, it allows for parent meetings to be scheduled at a time when all of the students' core teachers are available to meet. Having teams at the middle school also helps students feel that they're part of a smaller community within the school. They typically form at least one really strong connection to one of the teachers on the team that they feel they can relate to, which gives them a contact person if they're having issues that they need to discuss. We try to plan some fun whole team activities a couple times throughout the year as well. Because students on one team have classes together, it gives students good opportunities to form new friendships with students that they may not know well from their own town, but to also make some new friends from the other two towns. And now I'd like to introduce Heidi Byrne from the Inquiry team.
Hello, I'm Heidi Byrne. I am the team leader for the Inquiry team, and I teach both 7th and 8th grade math. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Inquiry Academy, which is really, Kristen was just talking about the different teams, and Inquiry is just a separate team here at RAM. It's like a little school within a school. Our schedule is a little bit different, but we really do follow the same schedule. We follow the same curriculum. Our kids all have to meet the same standards that all the other 7th and 8th graders meet. We do have one period of our day that's Genius, we call it Genius Hour. It's a period where students can learn and research any topic they want to learn about. They certainly have it's not a free-for-all. They have guidelines, expectations that they have to meet, but they can choose a question that they're curious about. We help them do the research to formulate the question, and then they do a presentation on what they've learned. This week I've learned about making jelly and jam and got to sample some. We have all kinds of projects. We've learned about different sports. We've learned about building computers, engines, you name it, we've probably learned about it. So it's a great opportunity for kids also to see how many different things there are to learn about. We have, we morph our schedule to fit certain activities. So sometimes our social studies and English teachers they'll have double period of social studies one day, double period of English another day. A little bit more project-based learning. Social studies teacher is known for all kinds they built Zen gardens this year. All kinds of strange things that are happening. A little bit more of an interdisciplinary focus, although other teams do a number of interdisciplinary things. We have a unit coming up about homelessness, so they're going to look at budgets for a household. They're going to learn about diet and how that might impact a homeless population. They're going to do some writing, and they're learning about it in social studies as well. A big focus on independent learning and critical thinking. There are some expectations that kids are kind of taking on their own learning. And like I said, they have to meet all the same competencies as all the other teams. And if you have any questions, you can find me later and I'll try to answer them for you. I'm going to turn it over to Angela Sonati, who's going to talk to you about the Unified Arts classes.
Good evening. I'm Angela Sonati, and I'm the team leader of the Unified Arts Department and one of the Spanish teachers here at Ram Middle School. This evening, I'd like to give you a perspective on the Unified Arts program, courses, and opportunities that are available to your child here at the middle school. Our Unified Arts program provides students with an introduction of the fundamentals of the various subjects like art, general music, technology education, physical education, health, personal wellness, and world language. Excuse me. These courses are taken in quarterly rotations with the exception of physical education, 7th grade world language, and art foundations, which meets for 2 quarters. Band and chorus are full-year courses, and students may elect to participate in both performing groups if they so choose. 8th grade world language is a full-year course where students continue developing their skills in the language of their choice, so either Spanish, Latin, or French. Some Unified Arts courses like Art Foundations and 8th grade world language provide students with a unique opportunity to earn high school credit upon successful completion. The skills students gain in their Unified Arts classes in the middle school allows students to be exposed to more advanced elective opportunities at the high school level. As you can see in the chart provided, there will be 3 periods of Unified Arts classes in your child's schedule next year. For one of the periods, students will be taking physical education for half of the year and world language for the other half. For another period, students will take 1 quarter of computer sciences and 1 quarter of health. They will have the opportunity of taking either general music or personal wellness for 1 quarter, and a choice between art or digital art for an additional quarter. For the final period, students can take both band and chorus, or one or the other, accompanied by an intervention. All skill levels are welcome and encouraged to join band and chorus. Our music teachers are more than happy to help your child improve upon their current skills and help them feel comfortable and confident in participating in ensembles offered. Unfortunately, given that there's so many different Unified Arts classes, I'm not going to be able to have enough time this evening to fully explain each individual one. But in the handouts that you received when you came in, you could learn more about each one in greater detail. Feel free to reach out to either myself or any of the Unified Arts teachers if you have any questions on any of our specific programs. I would now like to turn it over to our Purple team leader, Amy Golis, who will be discussing SRBI.
Good evening. One of the other benefits of our team model here at the middle school is the SRBI process, which stands for Scientifically Research-Based Interventions. Each day when our team meets, we are able to identify students who may be struggling in a variety of different areas, and through the SRBI process, we can begin to offer them supports and other interventions that may help them to progress academically or socially or behaviorally. They will begin the year in a lot of their classes. They might come home and say, oh, we had a reading exam today, or oh, we did this benchmark, or you might hear things like that, or universal screenings. And what those do is they allow us to establish a baseline for your student. Identify areas of weakness, identify also areas of strength. As the year goes on, if we notice that your student is struggling, we might begin to put tiered interventions into place. Tier 1 interventions are pretty simple. They're things that we do just as a matter of cause in classrooms. It can be done in a whole classroom environment. Tier 2 would be something a little bit smaller, a little bit more individualized. We have math interventions that run each afternoon during period 8, so your student might be referred to take that for a quarter. That would just provide with a little bit of extra reteaching, homework support, things that will help them to build those skills that they might have demonstrated a little bit of a weakness with. If we need to continue on, Tier 3 interventions are the most intensive, and you would find your student being in a very small group for those, where they can get highly individualized and one-on-one instruction or assistance with whatever skill they might be experiencing trouble with. We work very closely, as you've heard, with our guidance counselors. And so each week we do discuss students who are on these tiered interventions. We communicate with you as parents to let you know that we are planning on entering your student into one of these interventions, and we will provide you with updates as the process goes on. Typically, many of these interventions are on a quarter-by-quarter basis. So, if we notice in the first term that your students, like I said, may be struggling a little bit with math or with writing or with reading, we might say, hey, quarter 2, we have this class available, you should consider it. We'd ask that you speak with your student about it and understand that just a little bit of extra attention can make all the difference, especially in middle school, where students are developing those strong foundational skills that they'll need for high school. That's pretty much it. We want to assure you that your child is well taken care of here at RAM. If they have historically had any struggles with any topics, the communication, like we said, is key. And if you can communicate that, we get information from the elementary schools as well. We can hit the ground running with your student and make sure that they are reaching their potential in all of their subjects. I'd like to turn it over to the health room and to Lucy Bernier.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lucy Bernier, and I'm the school nurse here at RAM. A little bit about health requirements. You will get a list of all the vaccines that are required. I would just like to point out 2 specifically. They're usually done between 6th and 7th grade, but they are required before they begin 7th grade. Those 2 are the Tdap booster and the meningococcal vaccine. So those are usually the 2 that you would get during summertime, just before they begin the school year. Physicals must be completed in 6th grade or 7th grade. Just keep in mind sports. Usually for sports, we'd like to have physicals no longer than 13 months old. So if your kiddo, say, wants to do fall baseball in September, their 6th grade physical will suffice, but if they want to do track in the spring, we would need a new updated physical if it's older than 13 months. Let's see. Registrations for the physical is done, for sports physical is done through Family ID. You will get information for those, kiddos interested in signing up for sports. It's a different website where you log that information. Let's see. And the cumulative health record will come over from Hebronell or Andover, so you don't need to worry about that information coming over. For those of you who have religious exemptions or medical exemptions, those roll over as well, so no need to worry about that. All that information comes over with their record. I am not here in the summertime, but if you'd like to discuss any medical needs that your kiddo might have, feel free to reach out anytime. During the summer, we have a health secretary that can obviously reach out to me, or if you'd like to just discuss before the end of the school year, I'm available at any time. And Ms. Bell will talk about special activities.
Okay, I'm back again. I'm going to talk about after-school involvement and special activities. We have a lot of variety of activities here at the middle school. We do really believe they are great for students' growth and independence. A recent U.S. Census has shown that children who tend to have higher levels of school engagement when they are involved in one or more activities, sports, lessons, clubs at their schools. And we also see a correlation between a sense of belonging, improved mental health, and self-esteem when kids get involved. So we really want you to encourage your child to try something. There's a lot of new things. We have many school activities. For example, we have art club, we have drama club, Gender Sexuality Alliance, Lego League, Leo's Club, Literary Magazine, Student Council, Yearbook, and World Language Club. And that's just a few. We have many more that sometimes pop up throughout the year. We have a variety of sports each season. Some are tryout, some are just join. Sometimes we have some intramurals. It's a great way for kids to get involved. It's a great way for them to feel part of our school and to make a lot of new friends. We also offer after school some help for students. We do have a math lab and writing lab after school. Kids can just drop in whenever they want. They're usually once or twice a week. They go in, there's a math or an ELA teacher there just to help them with any assignment they may have. We have PM Study, which is like an after-school homework club. Sometimes kids say, you know what, if I get it done here, I'll get it done. Because once I go home, I have other distractions like my Xbox, my bike, outside things. So some of them like to do PM Study because they know it's a quiet setting. There is an adult there. They can still take advantage of math and writing lab, but they are able to get their homework done. They go home for 4:30, and they have the rest of the evening to themselves. And again, always asking help from their teachers is welcome as well. We want them to feel welcome here. We have a lot of kids who get involved in a lot of different things. Again, we really do encourage them to try new things. And they can hear when these are all starting. There's usually announcements every morning. They get a little bulletin each day. So they should, if they keep listening, they'll hear when those things kind of pop up throughout the year. Thank you. I'm going to now turn it over to Holly Bebin, who's going to talk about some of our support services.
Hello, I'm Holly Bebin. I'm one of the school psychologists here at the middle school. These are the other people that are part of the related services team. We have an AHM clinician, probably similar to the elementary schools, Jane Carlman. We have a school social worker, Dee Dee Dandan, and we have two school psychologists, me as well as Beth Castillo-Blaine. Some of the things we do include collaborating with the school counselors and the team teachers about students' social, emotional, behavioral, and academic difficulties. We run a lot of counseling groups at the middle school. Some of the groups are based on students' IEPs or 504 plans. Some of the groups are based on just student needs. Every year, really, the groups that we offer are different, sort of depending on the kinds of things that are going on in students' lives. I know, for example, I'm considering doing a group next year because we have a lot of boys this year in the 7th grade that can be very perfectionistic, so doing a group about that. So we try to be really flexible depending on students' needs with the kinds of groups that we offer. So we do a lot of group counseling. We also do some individual counseling, as well as behavior consultation with teams and with students and with parents. Middle school is a time of rapid growth and change. During this period of adolescence, students are experiencing accelerated social, emotional development, which can be exciting and can be fun, but can also be frustrating and overwhelming at times. Students experience many changes in middle school that can occasionally be stressful, including changes in academic expectations, friend groups, dating, social media, sports, drama, and music tryouts, and families changing expectations. So those are sometimes some of the things that we might address with counseling support. Sometimes these stressors can interfere with students' ability to focus in class. They might be feeling anxious or overwhelmed or just distracted by those thoughts and need assistance with coping strategies or problem solving or just help with self-advocating for their needs. For example, sending a message to a teacher or talking to a teacher about concerns that they're having. School avoidance behavior is also on the rise in recent years, likely because mental health stressors are also increasing among teenagers. So, if your child is frequently complaining of stomach aches or headaches or nausea, asking not to go to school, it could be related to anxiety. Or maybe your student is avoiding school because of social reasons or feeling overwhelmed by schoolwork. They could be getting behind, and sometimes that can just have sort of a snowball effect. It's important just to let us know as soon as possible so that we can avoid the snowball effect and help the student get support before things escalate. Also, sometimes students may struggle with different mental health issues, anxiety, depression, difficulties regulating their behavior or regulating their emotions. We also collaborate with outside providers like clinicians or therapists to reinforce the skills that students are using in those outside therapies in the school. I think that's probably it. Any questions?
So the important date for next year? Thursday, August 31st will be the first day of school. I want to thank all of you for turning out this evening. I want to thank my staff too for coming out doing the presentation. I do want to emphasize, I've been here, I think 14 almost. Oh, thank you. We started together. 15th year here. And I can tell you that this is a community. We're only as good as the information we have from all of you. So if there are things that you need us to know about your child, please let us know. Sometimes we collect them from the elementary school. Sometimes information doesn't come as quickly. But if there's something over the summer you want us to know about your child, we'd be happy to listen. The counselors will be here for most of the walk-around days on those days in August. And we do know that children do struggle with the lockers. It's one of their biggest fears. Between that and walking from the high school bus stop down to the middle school is the other one. They're like, where's the route? I can tell you that as a school, one of the things I always look for, and I've been in a number of districts, is how many of your staff actually live within the district and sends kids here. And I can tell you we have quite a few. I can't count, even present tonight, a number of my staff here tonight presenting have had children go through here or have children here or have children that will be coming up at some point. And it speaks volumes that people want to move in and want to come to Ram Middle School and Ram High School. At the same time, it's only because of all the communication we receive back and forth with parents, between the parents, the students, and the staff. So that's key. Last thing is, little surprises. We have packets outside for those of you that are here. It should have your child's math class or what they qualified for, the math level for next year, along with some other information. They'll be available right out front there where you just came in. Have a good evening, and thank you.